Welcome to the weekly health news update on Xinhua News Agency. We will focus our coverage on the upcoming MonWHO conference that will deal with refugee health. Situations that create refugees come from instability, especially when foreign governments try to intervene in national affairs. The People's Government hopes to take the lead in pushing the MonWHO towards a more enlightened and just refugee health regime.
Representing Xinhua, and I'm here with Amanda, who is representing China. So the first is, I would like to ask, what does China hope to accomplish in this conference with regards to refugee health?
China is actually very excited to attend the conference to negotiate with other nations to possibly come up with a long-term solution for refugee health. So as a representative, we understand that it is important to take that into consideration because as a growing global power, we're trying to take into concern of global responsibilities as well.
So, keeping that in mind, then, how will the refugee crisis add to China's growing population pressure of 1.4 billion? And how do you think this will affect China's international role as well?
As for the refugee population that's coming in and out, it's definitely a bit of a burden to the country's resources. However, because they're in need of help and according to the international laws, we would like to aid them in the possible ways that we could under our own resources. So
China hopes to emerge as a global leader in taking this global responsibility.
Yes.
All right, thank you, China. We look forward to hearing from you. We're excited. All right, thanks. This is Megan from Xinhua.
Now let's hear from Xinhua News.
Hi, this is Megan with Xinhua, and today I'm here with the International Federal Association of Medical Students, IFMSA. Asia seems very, very allied in helping refugees and wanting to help refugees anyways. What do you have to say about this? Do you think this alliance is true?
Yeah, well, from what I've observed in Asia, they seem to be making great progress in long-term solutions such as education and sanitation, working with GSK. But I'd like to shine the light on the current refugee situation in Sri Lanka, which my medical students there are very concerned about. There are currently 100,000 Tamil refugees in Sri Lanka, and medical aid is not able to get in there. We know that the situation is very dire at the moment, and we're wondering why we're not talking about this issue, why China and India isn't getting involved, why the whole Asia bloc really is ignoring the refugee situation in Sri Lanka.
Interesting. So then my question would be then, has Indian and Chinese economic investment truly been helpful then?
No, I think that they're glossing over the actual situation. Clearly, China and India have economic and political interests in Sri Lanka, and they don't want to talk about and bring up this issue.
I'm here with Canada's delegate. So we've already heard from IMFSA about the Sri Lankan, situation there. So what does Canada have to say about that?
Well, first of all, Canada has the most Tamil Sri Lankan refugees. In Canada, the current situation is that a lot of the Sri Lankan refugees in Canada are protesting about the situation in Sri Lanka. So some major issues that they've been protesting are the lack of media access of the situation in Sri Lanka, as well as the fact that the disease is rampant in Sri Lanka.
Let's hear the Xinhua report.
Hi, this is Megan with Xinhua, and the current state of the draft proposals within the Asian bloc is currently, they have two drafts put forward first. The first is focusing on water sanitation problems, and so they're looking to implement solutions for the long term.
The draft resolution that's coming right now is really great, and the topics that we're focusing on is long-term solutions, and the specific details in that is sanitation, infrastructure, and education programs for refugee camps.
The second draft we have put forward is regards to the educational programs. So they're looking to fund scholarship programs, specifically countries that have medical schools in place already, so with infrastructure. So Red Cross and the NGO like Red Cross has put their seal of approval.
Well, there are currently two drafts going on right now. Are we talking about the water sanitation and educational programs? And there are the Red Cross is signatories on both of those drafts. We do believe in both the short-term and long-term effects that those two programs will have.
Definitely supporting these initiatives, and also GSK, their rep.
We would love JSK's help in providing the community with all the resources they have.
The pharmaceutical company has also supported these initiatives, especially water sanitation, because they find that very, very important, and they have a 50% stake ownership with China.
So my impression on America is that they've got a really great idea going in the fact that they've got a pure sanitation initiative that details every sanitary measure that needs to be taken. So they've got my stamp of approval on that. With regards to Asia, they are relying heavily on GSK's resources, which is great. And I think GSK has much more to offer than Red Cross or Oxfam in terms of sanitation approaches. And we've got China's support in a 50-50 resource allocation method. So China gives 50% of its resources and GSK provides 50%. So that allows for more money to be allocated to different programs. With Europe, I don't know what to say about Europe. I don't really approve of too many things that they do, but I think their focus is changing. They need to be more wholesome in their approach in their resolution, because as of now their resolution is more Europe-based. Africa is doing a good job. I think what Africa needs to remember is that they need to encourage their own workers to get the ball rolling and to actually satisfy their own needs, as opposed to just relying on donations from other countries.
So that's all for now for an update, and this is Megan with Xinhua.
This was actually my first day on the job, so I'm kind of trying to just kind of get the feel of it. A lot of people coming to me, which that's what I like. I like people coming to me, asking me questions.
So which country do you really hate? Absolutely can't stand.
I mean, China. I mean, excuse me. There's no countries that I hate. North Korea, again, like kind of the same situation. I mean, they're not that important, so I don't even see why we're talking about them.
It's probably because you called them anorexic. That's totally
Yeah, that was. I mean, they are facing malnutrition and all that. Yeah, it's good, right? Let me just defend
China will always kung fu you into submission. That's all I have to say.
Well, we'll just fucking go Rambo on their ass.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Hello, Johnny Cage. Yeah. He doesn't need that kung fu shit. I think for once, as the United States, I'm gonna kind of just back off, let them make decisions, and then towards the end, when it comes down to it, I'll show my support for whichever amendments, whichever documents that I feel best represent our interests as the #1 country in the world. Potato, potato.
China's #1.
Potato, potato.
Yeah.
#1 in people, maybe. Mexico unfortunately wasn't able to make it to the conference. Pretty much all
You forced them to mow your lawn. What the heck?
Well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna dirty my pants and my shoes. Come on now. You guys got any beer, or something to wash this down with?
Really?
Budweiser. Israel. How can I forget Israel? Me and him have been working pretty closely. He called me out earlier saying something about how something, I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention, but I don't know, I always support Israel. Whatever really Israel wants in the Middle East, we're gonna kind of support that. If you could get me some sources besides Twitter,
is totally reliable.
that'd be wonderful.
Just as reliable.
I actually don't twit. I don't twit, so...
You're a twit though.
A what? I beg your pardon?
Brought to you by MonWHO Media.